Puede comenzar. You may start.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to our live coverage from the 2014 PABCON Women's Championships in Cali, Colombia. I'm Lucas Wiseman. Thanks for tuning in today as we get started with the PABCON Championships here in Cali. This is the first squad of the first event of this year's event at the Cali Bowling Coliseum. We have two squads of singles, and that will determine our singles medalist today. They bowl 6 games of singles, and that's it. There's no medal round. It's just the highest 6-game total at the end of the day will win the gold medal. And, of course, second place will get the silver, and third place will get the bronze. If there's any ties, they will share the medal. To start things off here in Game 1, we've got Guatemala, Costa Rica, and Colombia, and a pair of Pacers as well. The bowlers will move lanes after each game, and so we will have different groups of bowlers coming in throughout the day here. Half the field bowling on this first squad, the other half will be coming up this afternoon. 20 lanes here at the Cali Bowling Coliseum using, it looks like we're using 7 pairs this morning. And we're bowling on, let's take a look here what the pattern is for today. Well, the 2 patterns that we're going to use this week, announced yesterday at the team managers meeting, are Paris and Seoul. And the bowlers will alternate on the patterns here. Singles is going to be on the medium pattern, which is Seoul at 39 feet. And then doubles will be on Paris, which is the longest pattern of the WTBA patterns at 47 feet. Trios will be dual, which will be left lane long, right lane medium. And then team round 1 will be on the medium, team round 2 on the long, and the masters will be that dual setup once again. And if you want to see the patterns and get more information, go to worldbowling.org and click on the patterns and look for Seoul and Paris. And those are the 2 that we're going to use this week. Other countries on this squad, we've got the United States, Shannon O'Keefe, Danielle McEwen are bowling. We've got Venezuela, Mexico. There's 2 Colombian squads bowling, also 2 Mexican squads bowling this squad. We've got the Bahamas out there. So we've got a lot of different countries bowling on this first squad today. Just have to sit back and see how the scoring pace looks over the course of these first couple of games, and that'll kind of set the tone for the day in terms of what it might take to medal in the singles event. I believe we have 13 countries competing in this year's PABCON Women's Championships. Also have some very important spots in the Pan American Games up for grabs this week. There's already been a number of countries that have qualified for the Pan American Games. And we've got the following countries are going to be bowling for 4 spots in the Pan Am Games, and that's Aruba, Bahamas, United States, Guatemala, Panama, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic. And the way that works is at the end of all events, so after the team event, they'll take the top 2 all events totals from each of those 7 countries and create standings. And the top 4 teams in those standings will earn qualifying positions for the Pan American Games, which will be held in Toronto next year. Well, I would imagine we should see everybody on this squad at least once today, since we're using 7 pairs and bowling 6 games. So everybody should at least hit one of the featured pairs. See a lot of strikes out there early on. Ezra Zetter of Mexico has started with the front 3, as has Danielle McEwen of the United States. I want to say hello in the chat to Lee Fitzpatrick, who's in England, and Greg Fraser, who is in sunny Scotland, where I know that they're preparing for the vote on Scottish independence. I'm following that closely. Thanks for tuning in, Lee and Greg. Appreciate you tuning in from across the pond. The Cali Bowling Coliseum, where we're at today, also hosted the World Games last year. It's hosted a couple of events over the past couple of years. It's a nice venue. You've got 20 lanes, and you've got some stadium spectator seating in the back. And perched up pretty high here makes it nice to live stream from. Got Danielle McEwen now with the front 4 from the United States. Ezra Zetter's got the front 3. Sandra Gongora also with the front 3, as both of the Mexican players on that same pair bowling well to start off things here in the singles event. Hans van Elberg of the Netherlands also watching in the chat. A very international audience. It seems like the Europeans like to watch the live streaming today. Thank you very much for tuning in. It is 10:11 in the morning here in Cali as we get started with our first round, our first squad, I should say, of singles. Not too much striking going on the featured pairs here. Angie Ramirez of Colombia with an open and a double. That's about it. All the striking is happening off camera. We've got Azret Zetter now is the front 4. Clara Guerrero of Colombia's got a spare and 3 strikes in a row to start. Danielle McEwen of the United States now has the front 5 to begin. Jorge Garcia in the chat says hi from Puerto Rico. Good morning, Jorge. And Wayne Chester says Australia likes to watch the bowling on live stream as well. I agree. I have a lot of Australian folks who like to watch the live stream, and also I have a lot of Australians that follow me on Twitter, actually. Miranda Panis of Canada with a spare and 3 strikes in a row to start. Since we're only using 7 pairs, it's pretty easy for me to see who's bowling well each game. Azeret Zetter of Mexico has the front 5. Sandra Gongora, you can see the ball going down the lane there on the left side of your screen, just left a 3-6-10 on the front 4. And Danielle McEwen of the United States now has the front 6. Just joining us, you're watching live coverage of the 2014 PABCON Women's Championships, live from Cali, Colombia. Lucas Wiseman. Thanks so much for joining us. And I see that Corrine Terry in the chat asking what pattern bowling on today, and it is 39-foot sole pattern. I think we do expect some pretty high scores here in this championship based on what we saw in practice yesterday. Danielle McEwen now has the front 7. She is on lane 4. So we will let you know how that progresses. Azeret Zetter from Mexico now has the front 6. So you got some folks popping some big scores out early, it seems like. Danielle McEwen's run just ended with an 8-pin. That looked like it was going to be a strike. Kind of a weird hit. So it's only the first game. We already had somebody make it to the front 7. And Azeret from Mexico still has a chance to get to the front 7 as well this game. She'll be stepping up in just a moment on lane 6, just off to the left of our live stream pairs. Azeret just struck again. Front 7 for her. Just in the first game here, PABCON Women's Championships in Cali, Colombia. First of 6 games on this opening squad. Second squad be on the lanes this afternoon. Not too many high scores here on the featured pairs this game, but I promise you they're out there. A lot of good scores to open up game 1 of singles. I did put a link in the description of this event down below the video to the Colombian Bowling Federation's website. They will be posting the results. They told me they'll post them after each game. So we'll keep an eye out and see if we get results each game. Miranda from Canada's got a big game going. She had a spare in the first frame and then 6 strikes in a row. Danielle McEwen missed a 10-pin in the 9th frame. 227 for her heading into the 10th. Azeret Zetter, Mexico, is about to bowl her 8th frame. She struck again for the front 8. Just tuning in, this is our opening game of the PABCON Women's Championship Singles event. Squad 1 of 2. Second squad coming this afternoon with the rest of the bowlers. And we will know our singles medalists. The format is very simple, 6 games, that's it. We bowl 6 games. First place gets the gold, second place the silver, third place the bronze. Any ties, they share a medal. We'll have live coverage for you here 5 days in a row. Today is singles, tomorrow's doubles, Monday trios, Tuesday is team, and Wednesday is masters. So 5 consecutive days of live streaming from Cali of the PABCON Women's Championships. Thanks to the Colombian Bowling Federation for helping to get us set up with a proper internet connection to be able to provide you with the live streaming. Azarette Zetter of Mexico getting ready to bowl the 9th frame. And she has the front 8 on the left side of your screen. You can see the ball going down the lane. Another good shot for Azarette as she now has the front 9 and is looking like she's going to be your leader after the first game. See how she finishes out. We will adjust our camera angle to be able to show you her 10th frame here when she steps up to bowl. Danielle McEwen, 247. Shannon O'Keefe can strike out for 234. And Guillermo Contreras of Venezuela can shoot 234. Clara Guerrero of Colombia can shoot 255. So like I said, big scores out there. Of course, Azarette has a max of 300 out there. Take a look down at Azarette there. She has the front 9 this game. Promised you we would show her 10th frame, so here we go. Azarette Zetter from Mexico working on the front 9. There's another one. 10 for 10 to start this tournament for Azurette. Go, number 11 coming up. Got it. 11 in a row for Mexico to start off the singles event. Dream start here for Azurette Zetter. And she has not missed in 11 shots, with one more to go here to close it out and really set the pace. So here we go. Final ball going for 300, Azurette Zetter of Mexico. And there it is, perfection for Azurette, and what a start for Mexico here in the singles event at the PABCON Women's Championships, a 300 game in game number 1. What a start. Doesn't get any better than that, does it? She is easily your early leader and the player to beat here in the singles event so far. So what a start to the tournament for Azurette Zetter. She pops a perfect game to kick things off in the singles event. So some big scores early on here in game 1 of the first squad of the tournament. Still finishing up game 1 on our featured pairs here. Looks like Angie Ramirez of Colombia has the chance for the biggest game on the featured pairs. She can get to 232 if she strikes out. Miranda from Columbia finished with 244. So you've got Azarette at 300, your leader. Looks like Danielle McEwen at 247 is going to be second. Miranda Panis of Canada at 244. Shannon O'Keefe, the United States, 234. Clara Guerrero of Colombia, 233. Just waiting for our first game to finish up. And now it is completed, so we'll get started with game 2 here momentarily. All right, game 2 underway. Azurette comes to our featured pairs after shooting 300 in game 1. So after the first game, the standings are pretty much what we thought they would be. Azurette Zetter at 300 leaves the single pin first frame here. Danielle McEwen of the United States at 247. Miranda Panis of Canada at 244. Shannon O'Keefe, the United States, 234. And Clara Guerrero of Colombia rounds out the top 5 with 233. So we've got both Mexican teams and Costa Rica on the featured pairs, as well as the Pacers. And based on what I saw after the first game, it looks like the right lane moves right 1 pair, and the left lane moves left 1 pair. That means that the United States will be on for games 3 and 4, it appears. If you're just tuning in, you're watching Bold TV's live coverage of the 2014 PABCON Women's Championships. We are just starting game 2 of 6 on our opening squad of the singles event. A little bit of a slower start this game for Azurette. Leaves the 2-8, picks it up, so a couple of spares to start game 2 for Azurette Zetter after shooting 300 in game 1. like to take a look at the results after Game 1, you can go to the website that I've put in this description of this event. It's you might want to get your pen ready and your paper ready. It's FEDECOBOL.org. That's the Colombian Federation website. FEDECOBOL.org. And then when you get there, you can click on the, you see it on the left side of the screen. It says Panamericano Femenino. And then you can click on the results for Sencillos, which would be singles. Second squad of women's singles coming up this afternoon. The rest of the bowlers in the event will be coming up, and as Brian mentions, doesn't see all scores for all the bowlers. It's because they're not all on one squad. Only a 20-lane center here, so we've got 2 squads. fifth frame now of game 2. Scoring pace has slowed down quite a bit for Ezeret. After shooting 300, she has not doubled yet here in game 2. Clara Guerrero has gone spare 4-bagger to start this game. Nobody has a shot at 300 here in game 2. Ezeret keeps plugging along here, clean through 5 frames. Got some players who are making up some ground behind her, though. And 300 in game 1 is a good start, but it's a 6-game event. And it looks like it may be a high-scoring singles event, so got to get striking. If you're any of these players and you want to have a chance to earn a medal, again, Team USA will be coming up on the featured pairs for games 3 and 4. Danielle McEwen and Shannon O'Keefe right up there near the top of the standings. And Clara Guerrero, we will see her in game 6, it looks like. She just struck again. She's got 5 in a row after starting with a spare. And Clara was in 5th place coming into game 2 with 233 in the opener. Clara Guerrero just struck again. 6 strikes in a row for her with a spare in the first. So it looks like Clara is making a big move this game. She's making up a lot of ground on Azarette already through just 6 frames. 7 frames for Clara, 6 for Azarette. Don't forget, we've got a whole nother squad coming in this afternoon. And they are scheduled to start at 2 p.m. here in Cali. That would be 3 p.m. Eastern time. Might be a bit optimistic on the start time, but we'll see how quickly this squad finishes up their 6 games. Clara just struck again down on lane 3. 7 in a row for her. Again, she started with a spare. Right now with that strike, Clara has pulled even with Azarette, even though Azarette shot 300 in game 1. Clara had 233. And Clara has made up 67 pins this game, which is exactly how much she was behind. Ooh, big split for Azarette. 2-4-8-10, maybe her first open of the day. See if Azarette can make a run at this split. Got a chance here. Covers it up. Big time split conversion for Azarette setter of Mexico. It's going to be some big scores to set on this opening squad, I think. It's going to put a lot of pressure on the bowlers on squad 2. Clara Guerrero just struck again. Spare 8 bagger for Clara heading into the 10th with a max of 290, and she has now moved into the lead at this point, but still we have a few frames to go here in game 2. Azarette for their first open. And no doubles in this game. Now she has a max of 186, so she's going to go from 300 to sub 200 in game 2, and she's going to definitely fall down the standings. Clara struck again, first shot in the 10th. So she's looking at a max of 290. Danielle McEwen, who was in second place with 247 the first game, just doubled in the 10th, and she can shoot 238 with another strike. Clara struck again. She's throwing her final ball right now. She strikes out for 290. So a 290 game for Clara Guerrero here in game 2. That puts her at 523. And almost certainly she will be in the lead after game 2. Danielle McEwen sitting at 484. So it looks like Clara has moved into the top spot after the second game of 6. And again, we will see Clara Guerrero, it looks like, in game number 6. Game 6, she should be on 9 and 10. If all goes according to plan. Azarette strikes out for 186, which will put her at 486. If you add that to her 300 game. She would still be just ahead of Danielle McEwen, it looks like. Miranda Panis of Canada, who was in 3rd place with 244, only going to shoot 150 this game. It's her max score with 1 shot to go. Shannon O'Keefe, who was in 4th with 234, could strike on her final ball for 227. Shannon ends up shooting 226. Should be starting game 2 here, or game 3 here momentarily. Once again, we're going to have the United States on these next couple of games. We're in game 3 of 6 here at the PABCON Women's Championships. First squad of singles. Singles squad 2 coming up on the lanes this afternoon. Scheduled for 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. We've got the United States, we've got Mexico, Puerto Rico, and Mexico on the featured pairs here for this game. The standings are updated after game 2, and Clara Guerrero, as we expected, is leading at 523. Azaret Zetter 486. Danielle McEwen 484. And Shannon O'Keefe at 460. And we've got 3 of those bowlers on our featured pairs this game. Azaret has started with the front 4. Danielle has the front 3. Shannon spare open strike. And Clara has moved down to the higher end of the bowling center. Strike spare to start for her. Danielle shooting the 7-pin ends her string of strikes, and Azaret, after stumbling a bit in game 2, looks like she might be back on track with the front 4, and she'll be stepping up here in just a moment on lane 10. those of you watching the live streaming and wondering where you can find the scores, if you press the refresh button on the streaming page right now, or after I get done saying this, I've updated the link in the description of this event with the exact link to the singles results. However, you will need to refresh for that to show up. So please refresh, and then in the description below the video, you'll see the direct link to the singles results page. Back-to-back opens for Azurette after starting with the front four. Taking a peek down at Claire Guerrero's score on lane 15. Strike spare double to start for her in game 3. Clara leading with a 261.5 average after 2 games. Danielle McEwen, who's in 3rd place, not bowling a bad game here. 3 strikes in a row, and then 9 spare, 9 spare. And she's getting ready to step up on lane 7 right now. Just tuning in, you're watching live coverage of the PABCON Women's Championships from the Cali Bowling Coliseum in Cali, Colombia. This is game 3 of 6 in our first squad of the singles event. Second squad, which is the remainder of the bowlers in the tournament, will be coming up this afternoon, approximately 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. Clara continues to strike down on lane 15. She is looking to put up a big 3-game tally to start the singles event. If she were to strike out this game, she would shoot .803 to start. She can shoot .280 this game. She's got .523 for the first two. It's looking like it's going to take a very high score to medal in the singles event here today. Clara just left a split and made it in the 6th frame. Don't know what it was, but that does mean that she cannot shoot 800 for her first 3 games, though. But she still has an opportunity to put up a pretty big score. We'll let you know how she finishes up as we come to a close here in our 3rd game. It'll take us to the halfway point of Squad 1. Game 3 coming to a close. As you can see, Danielle McEwen with 213. Shannon O'Keefe 197. Santi Sanchez of Mexico 220 that game, so a good game for her. Hazarette really fell apart there back half of that game. Only shoots 181. And she's going to fall even further down the standings. Still trying to get a peek at what Clara is doing. It looks like she can max at 224 this game. And so that would definitely keep Clara in the lead as the scores seem to be coming down a bit here in game number 3. As we get geared up here for Game 4 starting momentarily. I mean, Puerto Rico, Guatemala. Looks like the United States. And maybe Aruba coming over next for game number 4. watching live coverage of the 2014 PABCON Women's Championships here in Cali, Colombia. Game 4 underway as we are now in the back half of this singles event for these players. Very simple format. We're going to bowl 6 games. We got squad 1 on the lanes right now. Squad 2 will be after this, and then after those 2 squads are over, we'll take a look at the 6-game standings, and medals will be based on that. So first, second, third will be earning medals today in the singles event. Still waiting on an update on the standings after game number 3, and see them in there punching away, so we should have it shortly. Clara Guerrero had 223 in game 3, putting her at 746 for her first 3 games, and she is in the lead as we are getting the updated standings right now. They are coming into us here. Squad 2 scheduled to start at 2 o'clock. It's in, let's see here, a little more than 2 hours, 2 hours and 4 minutes. It may be close. We'll have to see how quickly we finish up this squad. All right, so it looks like here are your standings after 3 games. We've got Clara Guerrero, 746, Colombian. Second place, Danielle McEwen at 697. Third place, Azeret Zetter of Mexico at 667. Shannon O'Keefe in 4th place from the United States at 657. And then Angie Ramirez of Colombia in 5th at 619. So scores going down a bit there in game 3. And I imagine that the bowlers on squad 2 probably breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief that the scores have come down a bit in that 3rd game, because they were pretty high the first couple of games. But again, Clara Guerrero of Colombia leading by almost 50 pins on the field after 3 games, and Clara strike, spare strike to start game 4. And we will see Clara on the featured pairs for game number 6. Watching live coverage of the PABCON Women's Championships from Cali, Colombia. Game 4 of 6 in our opening squad of the singles event. The doubles event will be held tomorrow. Monday will be the trios, Tuesday team, and Wednesday masters. And then most people head home on Thursday. Clara Guerrero this game, strike spare double to start for her. Clara already leading the field by 50, about almost 50 pins. And again, we won't know after this squad who has won the medals just yet, as there's one more squad to go with a lot of very talented bowlers coming up in squad 2. That is scheduled to start in about 2 hours. Well, keeping an eye on the players at the top of the standings, let's run through it for you here. Clara Guerrero from Columbia, 746, and so far in Game 4, she has 108 in the 5th and a spare coming in the 6th. She's bowling potentially another big game, at least off to a pretty good start in Game 4. She approaches the back half of that game. Second place is Danielle McEwen, who's on our featured pairs this game. And Danielle, 98 in the 5th and a strike in the 6th. So Clara's picked up another 10 pins on Danielle. That would push her lead on the field to almost 60. Azurette Zetter has now moved off the featured pairs after bowling a couple of 180 games. And she has 74 in the 5th and a spare in the 6th. So Azurette looking like she might be in the 180s yet again. And Shannon O'Keefe, who is in 4th place with, well, getting ready to step up here in the 6th frame on lane 10 is O'Keefe. Strike here, she'll be at 88 in the 5th. So the bottom line is that Clara Guerrero is continuing to expand her lead through 6 frames of game number 4. So Clara maintaining, and not only maintaining, but building on the lead here in this 4th game. If you're just tuning in, you're watching live coverage of the PABCON Women's Championships from Cali, Colombia. We are in Game 4, and Clara Guerrero continues to pull away from the field here in this fourth game, as she has now put together 3 strikes in a row heading into the 10th frame with a possible 248 coming for her in Game 4. And she is looking to really pull away from the field. She already leads by 50. That number could be more than 70 by the end of this game. Danielle McEwen in second place. Strike for her in the 9th, but a max score only of 225. Shannon O'Keefe, who's right up there near the top of the standings, on a max of 217 this game. And Azarette Zetter can only shoot 193. So scores continuing to come down a bit, but Clara looking to extend her lead significantly here in Game 4. We're going to keep you updated here on how Clara does in the 10th frame. She's stepping up right now. Just struck again for 4 in a row. So Clara now in the 230s this game with a chance to still get in the 240s. Sandra Gongora of Mexico going to shoot 277 with a strike on her last ball. She had the front 8 before going 7 spare in the 9th. Azarette Zetter only 170, had an open in the 10th. Clara just struck again 5 in a row, puts her in the 240s. And she will definitely expand her lead on the field after this game. Looks like Clara will have at least a 75-pin lead on McEwen. Nice game for Mariana Ayala. Puerto Rico, 234. She closes out that game. Double in the 10th for McEwen, puts her in the 220s. As Clara finishes up with another strike and shoots 248 that game. So another big game for Clara Guerrero. She is maintaining about a 248 average through the first 4 games of this singles event. You're watching live coverage of the 2014 PABCON Women's Championships. We're wrapping up Game 5 here, and Claire Guerrero, who is our leader at this point, is continuing to bowl well and extend her lead. Clara going to be on the featured pairs for game number 6 coming up here in just a few minutes, but Clara sitting at 994 after 4 games and leading by 72 pins over Danielle McEwen of the United States, who is at 922. Third place is Sandra Gongora of Mexico, who shot 277 last game to move to 863. Fourth place is Shannon O'Keefe of the United States at 842. Trying to figure out what Clara's max score is this game. She has at least 4 strikes in a row heading into the 7th frame. As we have just a game and a half to go here, a little less than a game and a half in our opening squad of the singles event. The second squad going to be coming out on the lanes this afternoon. Scheduled to start in about an hour and 15 minutes. It probably will be about an hour and a half. Clara just struck again. She's got strikes across the scoreboard right now from the 3rd to the 7th frame. So it looks like Clara is probably going to set the score to beat here on this squad. And remember, it's a very simple format. 6 games determines our medalists. Well, Clara left a 10-pin in the 8th. And now her max score is 259 with a couple of frames to go here in Game 5. So Clara looking to put up yet another big score. Danielle McEwen has a max score of 247 going into the final 2 frames of this game. Game 5 coming to a close here. We've got one more game to go after this one. Right now, Clara Guerrero is your leader, and her lead is almost 100 pins at this point on the rest of the field. And she is trying to put up a big score that she will hope will win the gold medal, but she'll have to wait until after this squad ends. The next squad ends, I should say. So we'll keep you updated on how our leaders finish here in game number 5. Danielle McEwen, 2:15, Game 5. Sandra Gongora, who had moved up to third, struggling in Game 5, only has a max of 186 with 1 frame to go. Clara getting ready to bowl her second shot in the 10th. She strikes again, so Clara gets into the 250s. It's going to be a 259 for Clara this game, as her lead will greatly expand on the field. Looks like she'll be leading by more than 110 pins going into the last game. Looks like Danielle McEwen will be in second place. With just a game to go. And of course, a whole nother squad left after this one ends. Scheduled to start in 1 hour and 5 minutes. Looking more likely it will start about 15 minutes behind schedule, if I had to guess. Clara strikes out in the 10th for 259 and increases her average on the day. just getting caught up on some of the questions in the chat. I see that Tyrell wants to know what the cross is. They're just moving one pair to the right or to the left. Left moves left, right moves right. Just moving one pair, not skipping any. And another question from Edison in the chat, what the pattern is. Bowling on the medium pattern today, Seoul, which is 39 feet. And tomorrow in the doubles event, it'll be on the long pattern, which is 47 feet, and that's Paris. So we are getting ready to start Game 6 now. Clara Guerrero coming to the featured pairs. She is our leader with one game to go. We'll have an update for you on the standings momentarily, but of course Clara in the lead by more than 100 pins, and Danielle McEwen, I believe, sitting in second place. And Clara leading by 116 pins. With a game to go, Clara averaging 250.6 for the first 5 games. Danielle McEwen in second place, 227.4 average, 1137 for her after 5. So almost certainly Clara Guerrero will be your leader at the end of this squad, and with if she can shoot 250 this game and maintain that 250 average, I think the odds of her taking the gold are potentially pretty good, although there's a lot of great bowlers still to come on the featured pairs. Well, I should say on the next squad, and also on the featured pairs. We'll see just about everybody next squad as well. And nice that we get to see Clara finish it up here in the final game on the featured pairs. And she is going to be on 9 and 10 this game. We have Venezuela, Canada, Colombia, and the Bahamas on the featured pairs this final game. Clara getting ready to step up here on lane 9. Strike on her first shot. Here's Clara in the second frame. Another strike, back-to-back strikes to start for Clara, trying to put up a big final game here to cement herself in that top spot with as big of a score as possible, with a lot of great bowlers coming up on the second squad. Clara sitting at 12.53 for 5 games, averaging just over 250 per game. Next highest is Danielle McEwen of the United States at 1137. It's an average of 227.4. Third place, Azeret Zetter, who shot 300 the first game, but then kind of fell apart a bit. Now sits at 1062, a 212.4 average after 5. She's in third place. Mariana Ayala of Puerto Rico has moved up to 4th, and Sandra Gongora of Mexico is 5th. Once this squad ends, we will be taking the stream offline and restarting up again once they get started with squad 2. Of course, we will post the link to the live streaming for squad 2 on our USBC Facebook and Twitter, and of course you can go to youtube.com/bowltv and find it there as well. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you don't already. Just click the subscribe button and you can get updates on our videos posted here on Bowl TV. Good way to stay on top of things in terms of when the live streaming is going to be taking place. Clara will be up on lane 10 once they get it fixed. At this point, Danielle McEwen is hoping that her score will be good enough for a silver medal, and she's still trying to put up as much as she can, but strike, spare for Danielle to start Game 6. Looks like Clara is ready to bowl now that lane 10 is fixed, and there she goes. And another strike for Clara, 3 in a row to start this final game. Looks like Shannon O'Keefe has the front 5 this game on lane 14. Keep an eye on that for you. Here's Clara, 3 in a row, and leaves a 4-pin in the 4th frame. Final game in progress here of our opening squad of the singles event at the PABCON Women's Championships. Squad 2 coming up in about an hour. Not too much drama here at the end of this squad as Claire Guerrero leading the field by 116 pins coming into this game. And she's doing nothing but extending that lead here in this final game so far. Here's Claire on the far right side of your screen, 5th frame. Delivers a strike. 4 strikes in 5 frames for Clara. Clara continuing to just pull away from the rest of the field. She's really been the class of the field here today in this opening squad of the singles event. Clara 3 strikes in a row, 9 spare, 3 more strikes. 3 frames to go. Clara can max out at 279 this game, which would be a spectacular finish to what has already been a fantastic squad for Clara Guerrero, sitting at a 250 average for the first 5 games. And again, one more squad to go coming up later this afternoon, and that will determine our medalists for the singles event. Four pin for Clara, so it's the second time she's left a 4-pin on that lane. It's the only time she hasn't struck in this game. Addison wants to know if O'Keefe is still striking. No, she's not. She had an open and a couple of spares, and her max is 242. Looks like Danielle McEwen is going to be sub 200 this game. Just had a split in the 10th. And it looks like she might be in the 170s to close out this game. Oh, Clara misses the spare, and we'll have to think about that later on today when the next squad comes on the lanes, if that might cost Clara in the end. She loses 11 pins right there. Clara back on track there with a strike. One more frame to go. Clara can max at 246. It would lower her average slightly, but still would be a good finish to the squad. Just finishing up the final game. 10th frame in progress. Our first squad coming to an end. We know that Clara Guerrero is going to be the leader. We don't know what her final score is going to be just yet. She still has her final framed bowl coming up here in just a moment. Here's Clara, her grand finale here, final frame, final opportunity to add some more pins to the total and hope that it's enough to win the gold. And she will have to anxiously wait and watch the next squad bowl. And that will determine her fate. Great shot. Gets the first one in the 10th. That'll put her at least in the 230s. One more pushes her into the 240s. So another big shot coming up here for Clara. And she is setting the score to beat for this afternoon squad. Another good shot. 3 in a row for Clara, and that puts her in the 240s. And she's going to average just shy of 250 on the day. Looks like Danielle McEwen is going to finish second on the squad at 13:14. Sandra Gongora at 13:03. Mariana Ayala of Puerto Rico at 12:74. Shannon O'Keefe of the United States at 12:62. And here is Clara's final shot. She leaves the 10 pin for 245. $14.98 for Clara Guerrero for 6 games today. Pretty spectacular showing by the Colombian here in her home country, trying to bring, or I should say, take the singles gold medal here for Colombia, but an anxious few hours ahead for Clara and the rest of the Colombian fans here in Cali, as another squad is coming up this afternoon, and that will determine our medalists. But right now, it is Clara Guerrero in the lead by a wide margin on this squad. 14.98 for Clara Guerrero. Danielle McEwen of the United States, 13.14 in second place. Third place, Sandra Gongora of Mexico at 13.03. We're going to sign off now, but we'll be back once we get started with squad number 2. So be on the lookout on our USBC Facebook and Twitter accounts for the alert that we have started the live streaming. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in a little bit here live on Bowl TV.